How to write cash secured puts on TD Ameritrade. In this video, we're first going to talk about what is a cash secured put. Second, we're going to talk about the benefits of writing cash secured puts. Third, we're going to talk about some of the risks. Fourth, we're going to go over an example of how to sell a cash secured put and how to close out a cash secured put position before expiration. And finally, I'm going to show you the results from some of my cash secured put trades. All this right after. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Learn to invest like a wolf at your own risk. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, Wolves of Investing. My name is Donnie Nguyen and I'm the founder of Wolves of Investing. If you're new, my channel is primarily about investing for growth. If you want to learn how to achieve financial freedom through investing, be sure to click on that subscribe button and notification bell if you haven't yet. And please remember to drop a like on this video if you enjoy it, as it truly helps out the channel. And be sure to check out my Patreon if you want to get more insights into my growth-oriented investments, or if you want to just support the channel. And also be sure to check out my free Discord to talk about cash secured puts, SPACs, and other stocks with other members of the Wolves of Investing community. So without further ado, let's get right into it. What is a cash secured put? A cash secured put is one of the most basic options plays you can do, and I think that the best way to explain a cash secured put is through an example. Let's say there's a stock you want to buy and it's trading around $23.75. You really like the stock, but you only want to buy it if it goes to $23. Normally, you would create a limit order to buy that stock at $23. If it hits that price and your limit order gets executed, great. If it never hits that price, then oh well. Now let's replace this example with the cash secured put. The same stock has a put option that expires in 10 days with a strike price of $23 and a premium of around $1.50. For those of you who are brand new to options, one options contract represents 100 shares of stock. If you're able to sell that put option for that $1.50 premium, then you'll immediately collect $150, which is just 100 times $1.50. That $150 is called the options premium, and it's yours to keep. You can use that $150 to pay down your mortgage, pay down your student loan, or buy yourself a fancy dinner. Whatever you want to use it for, it's your cash to keep. When that option expires, two things can happen. The stock can close below the strike price of $23, and if that happens, you are obligated to buy those 100 shares at $23. Because of this, you need to have at least $2,300 in your account to sell this cash secured put. That's why it's called cash secured. If the stock closes above $23, then the option expires worthless and you won't get assigned the shares. Prior to expiration, if the shares are trading below the strike price, the option can also get exercised, in which case you'll also be obligated to buy the shares at the strike price. What are some of the benefits of writing cash secured puts? One benefit is that you're able to buy the stock at an effective price that's even lower than the strike price. For example, with our $23 strike price and a $1.50 premium, if we got assigned, our effective price would be $23 minus $1.50, or $21.50. This is a much better outcome than a limit order. A second benefit is that you can just collect regular income on a stock that you don't even own. Many stock options have weekly expirations, so you can potentially collect premium on cash secured puts every week. So what are the risks of writing a cash secured put? The first risk is that the stock shoots higher and you never get assigned the stock. If this is a stock that you really wanted, then that would be a bummer. However, this is the same risk as if you were to place a limit order. Except that, unlike a limit order, you'll be collecting premium, so it's actually not that bad. A second risk is if the stock tanks well below the strike price. If you are already planning to hold the stock long term, then it's the same risk as if you were to do a limit order. Except that it's not as bad as a limit order because you collected the premium. Now, if the stock did tank and you really just don't want to get assigned the shares, you can buy back the option before it expires to close the contract. Now, this can get very expensive, as the premium in this example could be $3 or $4 or $5 or more. The lower the stock goes, the more expensive it will be to buy back the option. I try not to do this if possible because I will negate all of my gains. So the only reason I would buy back my contract in this situation is if something fundamentally changed that makes me think that the stock is never going to go back above the strike price. That's why it's really important to pick a stock that you wouldn't mind holding long term, even if it tanked. And why it's really important to keep your expiration relatively short, so that you don't have your money tied up in a losing options trade. All right, so now let's walk through an example on TD Ameritrade's desktop app. You can also use the mobile app, or you can use thinkorswim, which is a free platform provided by TD Ameritrade for its customers. As you can see, Bed Bath & Beyond stock is trading at $23.62. And if I go to Bed Bath & Beyond stock profile page, I click on options chain. This page shows calls and puts. The puts are on the right-hand side, so that's what we're interested in. For cash secured puts, I normally like to stick to expiration dates that are less than 30 days. Some people like to go out to 45 days. The further you go out, the more premium you'll collect, but you're also taking on more risk. So here we can see that it displays the number of days until expiration. And we can see that Bed Bath & Beyond does have weekly options available. So first I'm going to look at these options that have 3 days until expiration. Then I look at the strike price that I'm willing to buy the stock for at expiration. And I look for the premium that I can expect to make from selling this cash secured put. Let's say that I chose a strike of $23. The bid is 46 cents and the ask is 53 cents. This means that the current market value is somewhere between 46 and 53 cents. Then I'll go to the next expiration, which is 10 days, just to compare the premium at the same strike price. And we can see that the premium for the same strike is $1.37 to $1.51. So let's say that I'd rather collect the higher premium and I feel comfortable with the 10-day expiration. So I'll select that option by clicking on the bid price of $1.37 to start my trade. To sell a cash secured put, make sure that the action is set to sell to open, which means that you're selling a put to open your trade. Then select the number of contracts you want to sell. In this example, I'm only selling one cash secured put. I always use a limit order on options to make sure I get the best possible price. I'll usually place a limit order at the ask price, and then I keep lowering it by a penny until it gets filled. So here I enter the limit price of $1.51, and then I click Review Order. And before I place my order, I can review it to make sure everything looks correct. So we can see that I'm selling to open one contract of Bed Bath & Beyond put option that expires on October 1st, 2021 with the strike price of $23. And we can see that if my order is executed, I'll collect $150.35, which is just $1.51 times 100 minus the 65-cent commission. And then just click Place Order to place your trade. How do you close out your trade before expiration? So I currently don't have any cash secured put trades, but I do have several covered calls. And the process for closing out a cash secured put is very similar. You just hover over the option and then click Buy. And the action this time is buy to close, meaning that I'll buy back the option to close out the trade. In this example, I'm just going to place a limit order for 5 cents. And I'm just going to change the time in force to GTC, or good till canceled. And when I click Review Order, I can see that I'm buying to close one contract. And if it executes, I'll be paying $5 and 0 commission. Then I would just click place order to place my order. I usually try to close out my cash secured put early as long as I'm comfortable with my profit so that I can turn around and sell another cash secured put at a later expiration. My goal is to collect as much premium as possible before I get assigned or before the stock price gets too high. So finally, I wanted to show you how I was able to collect premium on Bed Bath & Beyond cash secured puts this year. Here you can see that I sold cash secured puts on Bed Bath & Beyond several times. Every single time I closed out the cash secured put early. My total profits on these cash secured puts were $202.01 before I finally got assigned the 100 shares of stock. After I got assigned the stock, I turned around and sold a covered call on it. And if you're interested in learning about how to write covered calls, be sure to check out this video where I go over how to write covered calls on TD Ameritrade. All right, so let me know what you think about cash secured puts. Are you gonna start trading them? Drop me a line in the comments. Be sure to leave a like on this video before leaving. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.